In this dark documentary, you will discover images that Nazism tried to erase from history, rare and unsettling photographs revealing another side of Adolf Hitler, fragile, eccentric, ridiculous, and far too human for the myth that propaganda tried to construct. From his leather helmet to his metallic smile, from public naps to his affection for animals, each forbidden record exposes contradictions the regime sought to hide at all costs. A deep dive into the dark behind the scenes of the Third Reich. Be prepared, because some of these images were never meant to surface. When we think of the Nazi regime, the gas chambers and death camps immediately come to mind. But there was another weapon of terror, quieter yet equally devastating: total control of propaganda. Hitler and Joseph Goebbels understood that a single image could shape minds more than any speech. That is why any photograph that did not glorify the Führer was censored, destroyed, or simply erased from history. In this video, we will explore rare and disturbing records that escaped the Third Reich's machinery of concealment, intimate scenes, bizarre behind-the-scenes moments, and details that Nazism tried to bury forever. Stay until the end, because you will see images Hitler never wanted the world to witness: the vanished photos. In the early 1930s, a set of photographs was removed from circulation by Hitler's direct order. The reason, at first glance, seems trivial, almost laughable, but it reveals much about his obsessive mind. The images showed the dictator in short clothing, exposing his knees. For a man obsessed with projecting rigidity, authority, and an almost superhuman posture, being photographed like this in a snowy landscape was disastrous. The session, intended to make him appear more human, had the opposite effect. In the photos, he looked more like a poorly dressed worker braving the cold than the future Chancellor of Germany. The result was deemed humiliating. Upon seeing the images, Hitler erupted in fury, calling them unacceptable. He ordered that they be destroyed or locked away in secret archives. His followers obeyed without question. No one dared defy a leader already cultivating a cult of personality. Thus, the photographs disappeared for decades as if they had never existed. The helmet. Hitler had a genuine passion for automobiles, but when driving he liked to wear a peculiar accessory, a tight leather helmet, typical of aviators. The sight was bizarre: a would-be pilot dressed for flight sitting behind the wheel. This habit even extended to flights aboard the Junkers U-52, even inside the closed cabin. The look was completed with a heavy belted coat, giving him a theatrical, almost caricatured appearance. Whether it was vanity, habit, or pure eccentricity remains unclear. What is certain is that the image he projected was strange and uncomfortable, revealing a side that propaganda would never show: drinks and naps. Officially, Hitler was portrayed as disciplined and averse to vices, but the truth is, he occasionally enjoyed wine or beer. There are records of such moments of relaxation, right before indulging in a lesser-known habit: afternoon naps. This simple habit undermined the image of vigilance and firmness he tried to maintain. The dictator who sought to appear tireless often retreated to rest, away from the eyes of his subordinates. The school visit. A rare film shows Hitler returning to his old school in Austria. The most disturbing detail is not the visit itself, but his behavior in front of the cameras. He appears restless, fidgeting with his overcoat, uncertain where to place his hands. Instead of projecting confidence, he appeared anxious, uncomfortable, even fragile. The scene did not match the image of an unyielding leader. As a result, it was hidden from public view. The hats. Before settling on the iconic peaked cap, Hitler experimented with various headwear, including the SA helmet, worn by his paramilitary militia. Yet on him, the accessory seemed ridiculous, clashing with his ideal of authority. Even at official events, he avoided wearing it. In the end, he chose the stiff, martial cap, simple, yet carefully calculated. Nothing in his appearance was casual. Every detail was designed to reinforce his aura of power. The teeth. Hitler carried an even more embarrassing secret: his mouth. He suffered severe dental problems due to poor hygiene and heavy medication. Over time, he lost several natural teeth and had to rely on gold and enamel prosthetics. The metallic smile, combined with his rigid gestures, created a strange, almost grotesque expression, an imperfection that could not be seen in public. Images were manipulated, footage edited. The myth of invulnerability could not be compromised by something as human as missing teeth. In the Alps, despite living in a Bavarian residence equipped for winter sports, Hitler never skied. unlike Eva Braun, who embraced the slopes with enthusiasm. There was, however, one exception: sledding. There, the dictator allowed himself joyful descents, like a child at play. A stark contrast: the man who meticulously cultivated a cold, calculating image, now surrendering to a simple, almost innocent pleasure: animals. His relationship with animals further revealed contradictions. His attachment to his dog Blondie is well known, but there are even stranger records. Hitler with a starling perched on his shoulder like a storybook character. Hitler caressing a squirrel. Hitler surrounded by Eva Braun's pets, a tenderness reserved for animals, while his cruelty toward humans reached unimaginable heights. The sleeping dictator. Another photograph shows Hitler asleep in the back seat of a Mercedes-Benz. The grotesque detail: he still wore his leather helmet as if ready to launch into battle. The scene, almost comical, dismantled the image of constant vigilance. There he was, the Führer, defeated by sleep, vulnerable, all too human, female attention. Incredibly, Hitler fascinated many women of the time. Eva Braun often had to restrain admirers who surrounded him in delirium. The most surprising episode occurred during the 1936 Olympic Games, when an American woman pushed through the crowd and kissed him. Hitler laughed at the moment, but his later reaction was clear: all records of the incident were to be suppressed. To him, that spontaneous gesture threatened his meticulously controlled image. The people's car. Among his many automobiles, one held a special place: the Volkswagen, later known as the Beetle. For Hitler, it symbolized accessible mobility, the car for every German. In a rare record, he is seen driving it with none other than Heinrich Himmler, leader of the SS, at his side. Two of the 20th century's most sinister figures, smiling in a small car as if merely friends on a casual ride. A banal scene transformed into propaganda, carefully constructed to convey closeness to the people. These hidden and silenced records reveal what Nazism sought to conceal. Behind the facade of absolute power were insecurities, ridiculous vanities, and moments of vulnerability. The dictator, striving to appear superhuman, was ultimately just a man, vain, eccentric, and disturbingly human. Acknowledgement: if you have made it this far, my sincere gratitude. Your presence keeps the flame of this dark journey alive. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and activate the notification bell. This helps us continue uncovering the darkest secrets of history, those many still try to hide in the silence of time.